My name is Jim DiTullio, and I'm the director of the University Counseling Center. We've been asked to do these brief little video clips to help you to understand a little bit about our services. The University Counseling Center exists just for students. We only see students. We are a free service, so there's no student fees involved. We are confidential, that any students who are 18 years of age or older have a right to confidentiality and privacy. And there's some exceptions of when we will break confidentiality, but for the most part, everything that you speak with a counselor about stays with the counselor. Our office is located in Memorial Hall. We are on the first floor. If you come in from the south, which is the main doors in Memorial Hall, we are the suite of offices to the left. Our Disability Resource Center is to the right, and our Career Development Center is straight back. So we're the suite of offices to the left. We currently have a staff of 9 licensed mental health professionals. One of those is a psychologist who is able to do a variety of assessments. So if students might think they have a learning disability or want to have some type of psychological testing, we can have the psychologist do some assessments for that. Really, the bulk of what we do is personal counseling. As RAs, you are going to come across students who have a variety of concerns. Sometimes just being a listener is all that's needed, but sometimes you will get the sense that you're in a little over your head and that you could use some help. That's where we come in. So by you knowing about the Counseling Center, you could be a referral source and to help us be the eyes and ears to help us locate students who could use some help and then to help them to come here. If you're working with a student who has expressed a personal problem and you feel that they really could use some professional help with that, the way you frame it will be very important. So if I were to say to you, you don't need counseling, do you? That's automatically saying, whoa, and that's not going to be a very welcoming thing. My preference would be for you to say, you know what you're talking to me is pretty important, but it's a little bit beyond what I can do. I know of a place that we can get some help, that you could speak to somebody that can really help you. And here's where it's at. That's when you would plug the Counseling Center. As an RA, it might sometimes be good for you to bring the student here. And so if the student is in crisis and feels like they need to be seen right away, what we would ask you to do is to call the Counseling Center, identify yourself as an RA, and that you have a student that you would like to bring over. And you can then bring that student over and we will work them in as soon as we can. Our preference is to do that with an appointment, but we will see a student in crisis who comes to our front door. But again, our preference is to have a time frame set up to do that. If the student wants you to come into the session with them, that's fine, as long as the student says it's okay. I mentioned that really what we do, the bulk of what we do is personal counseling. Some of those concerns might be developmental concerns, such as a breakup of a relationship, being homesick, maybe the death of a family member, maybe parents are getting divorced and suddenly broke that news to a student. All of those are examples of issues that are not mental health related problems. So we call them developmental issues. In addition to those, some of our students then sometimes have more mental health related problems. It could be a clinical depression, an anxiety disorder, an eating disorder. A lot of those types of concerns, students will come to us and we will help them. If students' needs go beyond the scope of what we can do, we will make referrals to the community, but we try to see as many students as we possibly can. Another thing I want to point out that as RAs, you too are students, you have the right and access to our counseling services and for them to be confidential. Just because we're connected with housing and we work a lot with University Housing and Dining, I want to assure you that as an RA, if you can come here and seek counseling on your own, the only way we will disclose that to anyone is with your written permission. So we are a safe place that you can come talk about a variety of concerns, and you don't have to worry about us speaking with someone from housing or speaking to your family member or to your faculty member. So we are a safe place for students. Again, we are free and we are confidential. If you have any questions, feel free to call me or anyone at the Counseling Center and ask those questions. If you're dealing with a situation that really feels over your head, I really urge you and encourage you to make sure you're keeping your direct report, your supervisor, in the loop. Let them know what's going on and what your recommendations are going to be. We can also serve as consultants both for RAs as well as ACDs, complex directors, anyone within housing that wants to just run a situation by us. But again, we would ask that you make sure that you keep your supervisor apprised of those situations that are of some concern. So I hope that I've covered the basics of the Counseling Center. I urge you to make referrals, help us to identify students in need, and help us to help students be successful by taking care of some of their personal concerns so that they can be good students. So again, thank you so much, and if you have any questions, give me a call.